Well, goddamn, man, we back at it, man. Goddamn, church lady got her head done. Hey, man, you can't tell her nothing, man. She done put up a little lipstick, some makeup. Hey,
Hey,
man, this
I got to get it done for professional reasons.
for professional reasons. Hey, you heard it here first. How about
Yes,
that? Hey,
right.
everybody, welcome to the show, man. I'm
Welcome,
Isaac.
welcome, y'all.
Hey, man, I'm the Ice Man. That's my crazy ass co-host over there, church lady Tiana White. Hey, man, we here with y'all once again on this Thursday
Yes,
evening.
we
This
are.
beautiful Thursday evening. How was your week?
It's going good, man. No complaints over here, man.
No complaints.
No complaints. We're doing good over here.
Hey,
You?
man, look, man, I don't have nothing to complain about. And if I
Yeah,
did have something to complain about, guess what? I ain't even gonna complain about.
ain't no point.
So what we doing today, man? What's happening with you?
Man, we talking about the missing piece today. You want to expound on that? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Iceman is a part of the Red Cup Boys crew.
Yes, sir. Yes. Hey, it's getting warm, man.
Right, right. You can
Hey,
say, look,
I
you can
had to
tell
pull
when it's
that one
getting
out.
hot.
Hey, man, I'm gonna do it again. I'll pull it out.
Yeah,
Look,
let me see.
red cup.
Iceman is a part of the Red Cup Boys crew.
Now I ain't gonna tell y'all what's in it, man. So if I'm,
Hey, Lil
hey,
Wayne said, don't ask what's in his cup.
hey,
You drink what's in your cup, I'm going to drink what's
drink
in
what's in
mine,
mine.
right?
Most definitely, most definitely. Hey, look, we got a really. I think it's gonna be a wonderful topic today. The title of the show is the missing piece, and what we want to discuss today was how, as parents,
Mhm.
do we assist or nurture or walk our kids through an unfortunate death of a parent that they didn't even know?
Right,
And how do the parents navigate that also, regardless of the situation and how it happened and what it happened, right?
right.
There's always that emotional connection because the child is involved.
Yeah,
And when a death happens suddenly, and in that process, the child hasn't had an opportunity to develop a relationship with the other parent, regardless of what the nurturing parent may have wanted at that time. How do we begin to navigate that and work through that process so both parties can have some closure?
yeah, yeah. Well said. Yeah, I just want to give you just a little bit of background. I'm not gonna say the whole story because it's not my story to tell, my whole story to tell. But my daughter's father passed this last week. He had been sick for quite some time. She knew that he hasn't been in her life since she was 5, for whatever reason. And I was dealing with the process one way, and my daughter wanted to deal with the process another. But because of my feelings and what I was concerned about regarding her, I kind of was pushy. And, I had to step back as the nurturing parent and kind of take my hands off of it and allow her to have her grieving process. And I think what was the main factor for me is that I didn't want my daughter to not be a part of the funeral, or the event of everything that surrounds that, because I didn't want her as a woman or older woman to have any regrets. But I had to learn that, uh, listen to what my daughter was asking me to do. She knew the situation, and at that time she wasn't willing to do it, deal with that. And that's something that she had to deal with, and I had to allow her grieving process. So, um, it's like a really complex situation, for the both of us. But I had to learn as mom, I let it go. Once I let her know what the situation was, this is what's going to happen. Give her time to grieve the way she needed to grieve, and be okay with the decision that she makes.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for opening up about this delicate situation because it's happening more frequently around, our country than we're willing to talk about a lot of times.
Right.
It's not just about losing a grieving parent. What about, in those situations where you do know where your mother is or you do know
Mm,
where your father is, and
yeah.
the other parent has convoluted your mind in such a manner
Hmm.
where you only know one side of the story. So now, as a sibling, as a young adult, you're raised thinking one thing when it's really another.
Right.
And I want to commend you because that's a lot. And the fact that, as parents, many times, I know me as a parent, we want to stick our face in it.
Yes.
We want to navigate that situation. We want to walk our kids through that. However, what I've learned in the process of allowing, my children to determine how they want to handle situations, I had to learn to shut the hell up
Yes. That's what you told me.
and
Yeah.
just mind my business and get out of that situation.
Right.
Because what I found out, T, the situation even wasn't for them. It was for my feelings.
Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
that? Because
Yeah.
I wanted to feel better about the whole situation. Regardless of how it goes down, you know, we're not faulting anybody here,
Right.
but I know the truth. They knew the truth.
Hmm.
And then in the middle, there's the truth.
Yes.
Right?
You said that to me earlier this week when I talked to you about it last week. And that right there, it just really stuck with me, for a lot of different reasons. Because just because my truth is my truth don't mean that your truth ain't right or that
Right.
I'm wrong. Both
Right.
can be true at the same time. But in the
Exactly.
middle, there's the truth. You know
And
what I mean?
and sometimes, in the middle is convoluted because when you go into that process of being honest about it and being forthcoming, once again, you're exposing the emotional factor that comes along
Hmm.
with reliving
Hmm.
that process,
Yeah.
and begin to start looking at the role that you play, not so
Yeah.
much the role that the other person played. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You start
Yeah.
looking at
I get
yourself, you
it.
be like, man, I could have done better with that, or I was young and I was stupid. But
Right. Right.
yeah,
Right. Right. Yeah.
and sometimes we have to stop as adults. We're not even talking about being parents. We got to stop giving ourselves that excuse or that reasoning.
Yes. That's so true.
So the question I want to ask you after we had our conversation last week, and you begin to process what we had talked about, right?
Mhm.
How was you dealing with it?
Um. Well, you talking about in the sense from how I felt about it, or
Yes.
okay, okay. Now you see, you get on my nerves. You be hitting that daggone nail on the head. Um, it didn't really affect me like how I thought it was going to because
Okay.
I had to when I was younger get closure on my own. But to be honest with you, I'm just being transparent, y'all. Just keeping it real. I did wonder. It brought some feelings back up. Did this person ever love me? Because and not to go into a whole bunch of detail, but the person when we were together, they cheated on me with this person, and here we are 15 years later, and they were getting ready to marry this other person, and I'm not talking negative about either, no party. I'm just telling y'all. And so for a second, I'm not gonna lie, I'm being very transparent. It made me think, it made me go back to a lot of memories that we had. But then what kind of got me through that, it was that um that's the past. I had to get healing on my own during that time. And what
Yeah.
was more important at that time wasn't my feelings, but was more important, checking in my daughter's feelings and telling her the whole story now that she's older, and being able to admit what I did wrong.
Yeah,
That right there, I think, Iceman, I think that's what got me through, because I had to be transparent and say, yeah, this person, let's just say, did 90% of this, but I contributed to it too. But yeah, and yeah, you know, and when, when he was sick before he was passing and stuff like that, we had talked about that. But I had to let my daughter know the truth. It wasn't all him. It was definitely 94%. But I had 6% in there. I'm gonna keep it real. Church lady had 6% in there,
hey
that
man,
I contributed to.
you ain't have what you went from 10 to 6.
Okay, all right. So it was 95, but I had 5. You know what I'm saying? I did
Hey
switch that up
man,
real quick, right?
I most definitely understand that. That's why I'm laughing
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
but
can identify.
yeah, so that's, yeah, that was unique for me. But I just, at every point, I had to think about my daughter first. But my daughter, y'all, just keep it real, my daughter was like, Mom, chill out. And that
Wow.
kind of hurt me, not because
Yeah.
uh I wanted, it hurt me because I was worried about her, but I had to realize my daughter don't process her emotions like I
Like
do,
you do.
and I
Yeah.
had to accept that. And just because my daughter don't process her emotions like me, don't mean it's something wrong. It don't necessarily mean something wrong. You know what I'm saying? She just got a different way of dealing with it. And all I can do as her parent is stand behind her and guide her and support her as best as I can. The way she lets me support her. Not the way I want to support.
Exactly.
Cause
And mm,
mom
mm,
got went down there to school. You know what I'm saying? I drove down there to school, you know? So, cause I just see I had to put it, like grandma said, I had to put my eyes on my baby. And my baby needed me, but she was like, yeah, go home. You know what I'm saying? I got a little party to go to tonight.
hey, she put you out.
Yeah, yeah. That bad, hey,
Hey,
but
hey,
this she did.
that Bama went out like, hey man, you can go home, man. Look.
Hey, I just man, oh, that bad, but she hit me with this. Hey, mom, you think, I want you to go ahead and get on the road. I don't want you to be driving at night. I said, Slim, if you got something to do, just say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, yeah. But I tell y'all this, Iceman is one of the few people that I really take advice from, and he gonna give it to me raw, real, and I needed that. He just said, "Shut the hell up." After that conversation, I shut the hell up, and my daughter started opening up to me more because I
yeah.
shut the hell up.
Hey man, look,
You know?
that's a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
and we share similar stories, and I have a son that for me that I didn't find out until he was my son, till he was 16,
Mm.
and as bad as I wanted to build a relationship with him in this process of
Mhm.
us getting to know one another, it just didn't happen. Now he does have a relationship with his siblings, which I'm happy about, and they inform me, and he
How you
always, yo,
doing and
man,
stuff?
yeah, Pop's good. He need anything, he all right. Tell him I asked about him or whatever the case
That's
may
good.
be. And but we don't have any communication.
Okay.
And one of the toughest things for me as a father is I had to withdraw and come to the realization that we may never have a relationship, or
Right.
we may have a relationship. However, some of my feelings be I want the relationship so at least, you know, I can feel better about it. And that's
Mm.
just being honest.
Right.
Because I was out the picture. I was ripping and running. If you knew me 32 years ago, you'd be like, man, that's not the same Isaac I know.
Right.
Man,
Right.
Isaac was burning the streets.
Right. Right. You was the real Iceman then.
I was the real Iceman, yeah, right?
Right.
Man,
Yeah.
look, and as many times I think about that,
Hmm.
and I most definitely played a role in that situation. But like yourself, as many conversations as we have, I'll say this to this day: I have nothing bad to say about anybody.
Right. You told me that.
You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate that we live in a system that really kind of allows us to go through these processes, and sometimes we got to do it alone.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and and it's like, so when you brought it to me, I was clear about it.
Hmm. Yeah.
And based on our relationship, I felt like that I not needed not to be nobody else but who I am in that conversation with you,
Right.
regardless of how it felt,
Right. Right. Right.
because I expect the same thing out of you.
Yeah.
And for me, when you came and told me that she began to open up, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
because
She did.
I was happy for you guys. It wasn't
Yeah.
just you; it was just the both of you, because death has a way of not only humbling you, it also has have a way of shutting you down.
Yeah. And
Because
rearing this ugly head
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
You get to see a
because
different side of people.
because death brings so many unanswered questions, and we talking about parents having to
Yeah.
navigate through this process, and deep down inside, knowing they played a major role in whatever the situation is, and that takes some accountability.
Yeah. It does.
And it's hard for parents sometimes to take accountability, especially in the framework of a death.
Yeah. It's so easy when somebody passed because guess what? Whatever secrets y'all had between y'all, it's gone. I could say anything. You know what I mean? I could just make it like, nah, this that bama woo woo woo, you know. But but one thing I'm gonna tell you, going back, one thing I'm so and I think you could feel this way because I think with you with your son, you'll understand when my daughter was growing up, there was a lot of things I could have said about her father or talked to her or let her overhear, but I just felt like it wasn't necessary because it wasn't necessary for me to do that because he was going to already make the name for himself anyway.
Yeah,
But at the same time, as my daughter got older, I just felt the need because I wasn't sure how this was gonna go. I didn't know she was gonna go to the funeral at first, so I didn't want her to get to the funeral and something be said to her that she didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
exactly,
And it was,
exactly.
and as I don't even want to say it's hard, as weird as it or awkward as the story was, I felt the responsibility as the parent to say, look, this is what happened. Somebody might say this, but I'm telling you my side. Your father will have to get well can't give you his side. But I'm gonna be honest with you. This is what it was. And I think my daughter, that's when she started opening up. After that, I shut up. And that's when she started opening up like a clam, just telling me how she felt, woo woo woo, and all of that. um, but it was difficult because mom wanna us as parents want everything to be right. And I think I wanted to ask you this with your son. Will you will you or are you okay with him just having the relationship with his siblings? Is that like, if it never happens between y'all, are you just saying that's good enough? Because at least I had some way to keep in contact with him, see how he's doing in his life. Are you okay with that? Like if it never happens?
However it goes, I'm gonna have to be okay, because at this point in both of our lives, it's really not my decision,
Right. Wow.
and I understand that.
Mm-hmm. That's
It's
deep.
like going through this process. My mother used to clarify for me. She always talked about the olive branch,
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I know what that
and,
is. Yes.
and she used to remind me how I used to extend it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was still tough.
Right.
And I don't know any one person, regardless if you don't have a relationship with your kid as a parent, regardless of how you feel, you still want to have that conversation. You still want to have that relationship with your child.
Right. Right.
However, I have no control over that. But
Mm.
my undaunting love for him, he's my son, will
Right.
never waver. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and that's something that I had to come to acceptance, and I had to continue to look at accountability for myself, because
Right.
regardless of what was going on in his life when I was not there, I played a role in that. And I always
Mm,
say I play 100% of everything that going on in my life. I play a role in that,
right,
whether it's small or it's big. And once I understood that and I can hold myself accountable and be accountable for me not being there as a parent, guess what? I got to a point where I can hold on to it and move forward in my life.
right. So it's
Because
like having a piece. Is it like having a piece, kind
yes,
of? Okay,
it's more or less about having peace with me.
gotcha. Respect that.
Because like you talked about, and we talk about it all the time, I don't know what's been said.
Right.
And I'm not going to speculate.
Hmm.
I'm not going to do that.
Right.
So, the love is always going to be there.
Right.
But I tell you, I tell you what, right? Anything that had to do with family, a death, a sickness, when I had to go home and, be with family members that were, he was there, man. He was there. His sister called and be like, man, dad, hey, yo, he came.
Wow.
And when
Wow.
when I saw him, it was like he never left. He
Mm,
grabbed me. He be like, he gave me a hug. He be like, Dad, I'm here.
that's good.
And it was like, for me, I was like, man,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And you know, so with that saying, it's just a matter of him being ready
Right.
and me staying open when that happens.
Right. And respecting, I guess, his feelings and
Yeah,
boundaries and
I
everything.
have
Yeah.
to respect his boundaries. I have to respect his feelings because he is a man and I'm a man too.
Right. I'm
So
glad you said that. That's respect. He's a man, you a man too.
exactly.
That's
So,
respect.
you know, um and sometimes these things that happen in your life, even for you, it's a character builder.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you don't want to let your children know you was a hoe
Right.
or
Yeah.
you was in the street. Cause
Right. Right.
my
Yeah.
son be like, man, dad was out there. And he
Right.
look at me like I'm crazy. Like, nah, man, look, I got too many stories and I ain't got enough time.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And it's really about really not telling who you used to be, but showing who you are now. Like you had to show
Right.
up. You had to
Right.
show up now.
Right.
You had to
Well said.
yeah, you
Well
had
said.
to show up in a you had to show up now in an area of your life that you wasn't ready to show up for.
Right. Well said.
And
Hey, hey, listen, I'm dogging out. I call y'all tomorrow.
hey,
'Cause
nah,
that
man, nah, whole lot.
well said.
And I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah.
You did it. And for you guys that's out there that's listening to the show, what we're gonna say here at UNC. I don't think it is nothing we won't touch,
Right.
whether it's a comfortable conversation or it's an uncomfortable conversation.
Hmm.
You might agree, you might disagree, and we okay with that. But however, we most definitely gonna put it on the table,
We are.
and we're gonna be as transparent as we are, and we just want to share our experiences to the world
Yes.
about what we know, what we've learned, and what we have gone through, and hopefully we can give that to you.
Yeah. It's
And
always our goal on the show, y'all, to bring something to the table. Yeah, we talk about a lot of deep topics, and sometimes you can listen to a podcast, and it's just by the time you finish it, you still back at point one, feeling the same way. But we just hoping that we're bringing something to your table that you can chew on. You know what I'm saying, and nourish you and make you better at the end of the show. You know what I mean?
as adults, as parents, as human beings, we have to get out of this space of not taking accountability for the
Right.
decisions that we make and standing in it and showing up when we need to show up as human beings, as parents,
Yeah.
and be honest
Whatever it
because
is. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
The
And
worst thing I think that happened, sorry to cut you off, is for somebody to tell your kids something that you ain't told them. You
oh
know what
man,
I'm saying? That's the worst
yeah,
situation. You know what I'm saying? I think it breaks trust. You know what I mean? And it questions have your child questioning things. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Not because something certain and this happened to people. Not because you just didn't want your child to know. Maybe a person might feel like it just wasn't time. But man, the older they get and you base it on your relationship with your child, tell them, man, they
exactly,
gonna respect you. When Harmony turns 28, when your kids are grown or older than they are, they gonna understand it. They might not like it now. They might say, Mom, Dad, I'm just saying, Mom, Dad, some shit. You ain't gonna like it now, but I'm never gonna have you out here in these streets and not tell you the truth about me. I can't tell you the truth about somebody else. I'm gonna tell you the
exactly,
truth about me, though.
exactly.
So
And I'm gonna have to live with that truth,
yes,
and I can't worry about what you know my kids think about my truth
yeah,
because me telling them and they seeing me is two different things,
right,
you know.
right.
And unfortunately, I've had the pleasure. None of my kids saw me in that light, and
Good,
I thank God.
right,
My emptiness, my absence was big enough.
right, right,
You know what I'm saying? And it had a
yeah,
profound effect.
right,
So, and I was able to do the internal work on
mm-hmm,
myself, and I was willing to do the work that was necessary to build a relationship with my kids when I wasn't there,
right,
when they needed their father.
right. That part, love it.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
now, I'm a granddad. I'm a pop pop.
mm,
Oh, they call me
Papa,
pop. Oh, pop pop, man.
Papa.
Hey, man, they love pop pop, man. They can't wait to see pop pop. They be
You
saying,
probably the coolest Papa
man,
ever, man.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. I know a lot of fathers out here think they cool. They cool, papa. Man, I'm the
You
coolest, man. What you talking
cool
about?
Papa, right?
I'm cool,
I can
papa.
see. Yeah, you
Hey,
probably the
man.
coolest, yo.
Hey, I'm smooth, man. Hey, man, I'm real smooth about it,
And
man.
do they have you wrapped around your finger? Their finger? Okay. Yep.
You know what? Hey,
Yep.
man, we want to thank you
Oh,
guys.
now we didn't close out. Okay. Okay. Now, hey, look, y'all. Now we closing the show out.
Oh
Okay.
my God. Hey,
Okay.
this is what we do on the No Conditions podcast, man. This is what we do. We have a great time.
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to answer that question. Your grandkids will teach you how to be a better parent.
Wow. Wow. So that's what the kids mean when they say, when I was a kid, Mom, Dad, you ain't do that. Cause when things that my daughter get away with, or not even get away with, things that my daughter, the way she's blessed, what I'm saying, it's different from when I was a kid. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I can't say that it was worse, but I'm saying I just couldn't do some of the things or slide with some of the things. But I tell you this, seeing somebody be a grandparent and they love their grandkids, a beautiful thing to see. See
Hey,
my parents love on my daughter and my grandmother love on her great granddaughter the way they do.
ain't
It's
that
like
something?
something you can't explain, man. It's
You can't.
beautiful.
Hey man, you can't talk about that, man. That's something you got to experience. I can't even
Yeah,
explain it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, he most definitely love his uncles and his grandmoms and all them, man. And
But ain't nothing like Papa.
hey man, Papa cool, man.
Yep.
Pop
Hey,
pop.
look, you got to be the smoothest, man. I can see you in the street. I know you
Hey
teaching him
man,
everything, man.
hey
He
man,
gonna be he gonna be the smoothest kid in
hey
middle
man,
school. I
I'm
swear.
gonna tell you something. He a problem right now.
Oh man,
He a
yeah.
problem right now. He be like, Papa, what you think about this? I say, that he be telling me something. I'll be like, all right, well, we need to revamp that a little bit because that ain't gonna work.
Now we need to revamp
Yeah,
that
we
a
need to
little bit.
revamp that. And you know
Yeah.
what? And I can honestly say that my child and I we have a very profound understanding today,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And, you know, regardless of what she sent me through, because she sent me through some things.
Mhm.
However, once again, like I told you guys earlier, I play 100% part of that.
Right.
And it made me a better person. And it helped me understand
Right.
who I was becoming. Because the old Isaac and the new Isaac, they not the same people.
And two different people.
They're two
Right.
different people.
What's that? What's that?
So, it's like anything in the world when you have that opportunity. And I tell people, man, if you ever have an opportunity to be a grandparent or be a big uncle or great uncle, then you begin to understand, what we're talking about, at that level.
Mhm.
Man, this was a great show. Hey,
It
hey,
was.
hey, man, this was a great show, man.
It was. It
Hey,
was.
look, man, y'all gotta keep. Let me tell you something, man. I appreciate you guys with
Yeah.
all the views and the comments, and
Yes.
and we really appreciate that.
We
And hope
do.
once again, we hope that we can deliver a message that's identifiable to just one person. It don't have
Mhm.
to be the whole world. If one person listens to our podcast and get one thing, guess what? We okay with that.
That's that. We good with it. We good with it.
Most definitely. And you
Yeah.
know what? Without saying, myself, I'm the Iceman. That's the church lady. If ain't nobody tell you that they love you, the guys, today,
How you do this thing? How?
us at
How?
UNC Podcast, we want
Is
to
that
tell
it,
you
y'all?
that we love you. And we out.
Bye.
Peace.